Going on YouTube? Here we are in the Coronado National Forest just outside of Tucson on Reddington Pass Road, here in just what is really remarkable wilderness area. This is a good dispersed campsite that I found off of Google Maps. It's pretty desolate, isolated, don't have anybody around me. There's tons of stuff around, like people had left because there's shooting all out in this area, recreational shooting, not the Chicago type. But we're going to camp here tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to go hiking along Passage 10 of the Arizona Scenic Trail, which is, if you're not aware, the trail that runs all the way from the border of Arizona and Mexico, 800 miles to the border of Arizona and Utah. So tonight we're just going to chill out, get things set up, and have a good time while doing it. As you can tell, the sun's starting to set real low. Getting little to no light down in this little valley, so getting some more firewood and trying to have a good time. I'll get off my high horse for now. Just gonna cut it down to smaller pieces. Yeah, you want to cut it down to smaller pieces to be able to burn more efficiently, so you can have more useful purposes. Oh, lovely. Probably find a better spot to wedge this in and not damage my saw blade. Ah, don't tell me the battery died. I should say, but it's relatively dry here, so I don't think we'll have issues with that going. There we go. Now we're in business. Here we are. We're just chilling. Got my Mike Wazowski, or Monsters Incorporated fur coat on. It's not cold really, but you know, just get to enjoy wearing this type of stuff out here. It doesn't really get to be all that often with it so hot. Jamming, enjoying the hits, praising God, and having a good time. Jay. Got a little 80-20 ground beef. Boil and bag rice. Put that in there. And let's see. Bunch of spices. Other assorted nonsense. But we're just gonna keep it simple. Have some beef and rice. Bodybuilder delight. So, gonna cook it up in this. Not sure what the actual name of it is, but figured it would do the trick. So, gonna boil the water for rice, and then English. We're gonna boil the water, put the rice in. Once that's cooked, take it out, drain it, or just take it out in general, and put the ground beef in. One dish meal. I was planning on using my cast iron, but I changed my mind, so I can make it more convenient. All right, put it on those coals and that log, so hopefully it doesn't take too long to get to boiling. I think we're at about maybe 3,000 to 4,000 feet, so probably 3,500 feet in elevation above sea level. So we'll see. Getting there. Definitely took a little bit of time just with how high elevation, and the coals, the way I have them set up right there, is definitely maybe not the hottest, but it's certainly getting the heat up now. So we'll just let that boil for 5-6 minutes, give or take, and then afterwards we'll empty the water. We're not going to waste it. We'll put it right back into a water bottle of some sort, and then have a little hot koozie to keep us warm while the fire's down low. All right, welcome to Cooking with Job. I think this looks about done. Oh, great. Looks like you could just peel it right there and empty the rice. We'll get that going here. Add it as a nice little base. Oh yeah, looks good. Think that did it just right. Okay. Oh no. Yeah. Thankfully it wasn't too expensive. Put this back in this bowl right here. So we have extra purified water, nice and warm. Yeah, I don't want to waste it. Slurp ASMR for everyone. Tastes a little bit like rice. It's actually pretty good. Hey, there's a critter trying to get on my food. Out here in the desert, you can't let any water go to waste, that's for sure. Okay. Let's add. Gosh. Oh, I can't even open my eyes. Get a lot of that taco seasoning in there. Don't hate, just appreciate. Balling on a budget, folks. Get that seasoning all mixed in real good. Ah, frig, my eyes. gosh. Whew. Jeez, yeah, so much smoke. It's Cubes the pimp. Here we are, just hanging out, enjoying the fire. What is about to be a big roaring one. Just gotta adjust it a little, get those drier pieces on it and feed it. You know, nothing quite like some gangsta music out here. Getting a vibe out here in nature is just incredible. Have a real good time, and being able to just jam out to some music and have a good dinner too. You know, not a whole lot of people get to do this, and I consider myself blessed every single time I get the chance to come out here. You know, you got to thank God for, you know, moments like that, because it's very few and far between, you know, and there's a lot of people out there suffering, especially with, you know, the loss of Charlie Kirk, and with all the people that, you know, just were harsh and, you know, having a real big stance against them. I think they're coming to grips or understanding of what exactly they were facing against. They're not just facing against a man, it's his ideas, it's his representation, it's, you know, his passionate desire for everyone to know Jesus Christ. So I think it's, you know, worth just cherishing every moment, having, you know, gratitude being a big part of your life is huge. Anybody who's successful will say that, and I think, you know, just when you take everything into greater perspective of how lucky we are, I mean, anywhere you are, as long as you wake up, you know, God's given you a chance, He's given you another day, and it's not to be taken for granted. It's always means to glorify Him. So don't allow yourself to be bogged down by mistakes, because we all make them, we all do. But if you're awake, if you wake up the next day in the morning, God says you're not done, and He has that message, and He has His Spirit indwelling within you. And if He doesn't, you know, now's the time to, you know, ask Him, ask sincerely for the Holy Spirit to come and dwell within you, and for your faith to be put in Jesus Christ, because that's the only way to get true satisfaction and peace out of life. So just, I hope everyone who's watching this can consider that, and maybe if they have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to be able to provide as much insight as I know. I'm, you know, a broken, fallen man, but I get through by the grace of Jesus Christ on the cross. And coming out here in the nature and the creation really makes it just so apparent as to how important it is to worship Him in spirit and in deed, and, you know, just do everything you can for the glory of God. Fire's died down and our bed's set up. We're sleeping in the bed of the truck. It should not rain on us. If not, then you'll be seeing me later. But other than that, time to hunker down and go to bed. Good morning. We survived, but barely. I don't know how or what people were doing. Most of them were just shooting. Where I camped at was a pretty good shooting spot, I guess, and I had one guy come up and, you know, ask me what I was doing there, and I said I was camping. He said, oh, it's a shooting spot. And I was like, I didn't want to argue because I was literally just laying in bed. So, yeah, anyhow, some other folks came on through later in the night, but a bunch of gunshots. Not that I'm opposed to that or anything, but, you know, it's really not conducive for trying to sleep. So, definitely just taking it easy, gonna pack things up, get to the trailhead. But would you look at some of these views? Wow. Whew. It's craziness, isn't it? I think those are part of the Santa Ritas, if I'm not mistaken. Then this is the sweet little transition zone. You can tell with this boy right here, the Acatillo, is I can't think of it as being a cactus, but definitely doesn't usually hang out in lower elevations. It's in that sweet spot of 3,000 to 4,000 feet. We got a lot of prickly pear, agave, and then all throughout the hills and stuff you see some juniper, some mesquite, and over here is Mica Mountain. It's real nice granite jutting out of it. The sunrise is coming over, but we will be hiking over in this general area today, and I'm gonna go ahead and here we are in Upper Tanque Verde Waterfalls there. This is just after a good monsoon. Those rain waters will charge down through into this narrow valley and feed it. We're gonna go down in there and take a dip. Whoa! Gosh! It's chilly. I was concerned that I wasn't recording, and I would have been rather upset because that was absolutely amazing. But here is just the beautiful beauty of Arizona right here for you guys. This would usually be dry, but because of how much precipitation we've been having these past close to like 3-4 inches. I mean, here it could probably have been close to 5 inches of precipitation, and the ground gets that all this just comes and forms these massive creeks and waterfalls. Now, before you know it, come winter time when it starts to freeze, the snow elevation is going to be packed in. It's not going to melt, obviously, because it'll be below freezing for extended periods of time. So that way we have little to no water during that time, but then as soon as the spring thaw comes in, this will start to flow, and then monsoon also makes it flow as well. So water is kind of like a interesting phenomena here in the Southwest. It's like a faucet. You turn it on and off. and when it's on, you want to collect it. That's why there's tons of reservoirs, tons of infrastructure built to maintain our way of living here in the American Southwest, because without water, there's no life. Here we are. We're getting along some part of the Arizona Trail here in the Santa Catalinas. It is beautiful today. I think it's close to like 60s, maybe low 70s Fahrenheit. And we are in the Chaparral biome. So we're close to 4,000 to 5,000 feet elevation. It's indicated by these oaks. These are bramble oaks. And we have some juniper, along with yucca, manzanita, and other plant life that is sustainable or enjoys living at these elevations, because there's slightly larger amount of precipitation. Got some granite, limestone up there on the top of this ridge being weathered out, and looks like it's being formed into hoodoos. You might have seen that in Chiricahua or Bryce Canyon, but it's very neat how they can be eroded that way. Yeah, we're gonna get some miles in and just take in the beauty of nature. And no rubber tired vehicles beyond this point. Well, do these count? This is just a marvelous view of the mountains there. Mount Lemmon out in the distance, tallest of those peaks, and we're right in the smack dab middle of Santa Catalinas. It's incredible, truly remarkable up here. It's starting to get warm. I'm gonna have to strip down to shorts, get everything ready for hike down the trail there a little more, and I'll find a point to turn around and head back to west. Okay, looks like we are getting close to something. You can tell by these large deciduous trees, i.e. sycamore, Arizona sycamore. These are notorious for being around large bodies of water. So if there's water nearby, it's definitely going to be in these areas, just because also you can see how this valley forms into a nice perfect basin. And if you hear that, that's water. Yep, you hear water flowing. So we're going to go down in there and check it out and see what's up, folks. Here we are, making our way through a little further down the trail. This is the East Fork Trail here in the Push Ridge Wilderness of the Coronado National Forest. And yeah, I'm just trying to get it so I can have 9 miles on this hike and then 1 mile on the previous one. So we can have a total of 10 miles for today. Little scat. Not sure, probably coyote. They like those manzanita berries, or that's the manzanita, little apple in Spanish. They have red, well, berries on them that the critters just love to eat. I'll help myself to some sometimes, but definitely gotta get them when they're just right, or they end up being pretty bitter. Checking out this bramble oak. No goodies here for us. Usually they have like a nut or a seed that's really good. Tastes like an almond or a walnut, I'd say. Feel like I'm in the Gladiator. I don't know what it is about this plant, but there's just so many butterflies. Like, look at them. Wow. I must love this. Almost back to the parking lot. We're back to the hoodoos. Who are you? Who? Pretty decent hike. Get the heart rate up. Get some calories burned. And more importantly, just enjoy nature. It's always good to get out. Especially if you're trapped in a doomscape city like me. So it's always a pleasure getting out into the natures. So I guess we found out who this is. Gordon Hirabayashi was a Japanese American who challenged the curfew imposed upon them during World War II in 1942, and he was placed here, which was actually federal honor camp during the 40s up until 1970 when it was demolished. And this was definitely a harsh place to be. It was a prison, and they helped to pretty much build the Catalina Highway, which brings a large number of visitors and tourists to the top of Mount Lemmon, but it was all created by prison laborers. So yeah, they looks like here's some of the images of them building the highway. Really fascinating, crazy. $117,000 Japanese Americans were removed from their West Coast homes and imprisoned in internment camps. Wow. Over 20,000 Japanese Americans served in the U.S. military during World War II. Unreal. So, just crazy piece of history here. All in this valley along the creek was remnants of what used to be a prison camp that helped create a really remarkable highway up to the top of Mount Lemmon. Had no idea. So fascinating.